So, you guys know that for just about as long as I've been running Moon Sisters, I've always had two burning questions. One, what if Chibiusa's little sister, Kousagi, had equal screen time as her older sister? And two, what's going to happen in the future? So, just for fun, I decided to do a little tiny art project. You probably remember all the times, all of my previous videos, where I made Pegasus and Helios and Pearl or Peruru, which version you want, they're both accurate. So then I thought, well, what happens in the future when they have children? I mean, if you watch the Super S anime or the Sailor Moon Eternal movies, we see Chibiusa with Helios, and then if you follow the Super S anime of the 90s, you also see her with Pegasus. Now, if you follow the 90s anime, these two are the same person, and if you watch the end of the Eternal movie, they're two different people fused as one. Long story, go watch the movie, it's on Netflix, I really recommend it. We never see Kousagi with either Helios or Peruru, but, I just kind of thought, what if? What would their future generations look like? What if, since Chibiusa time travels so much, what if she went into the future? What if there were lots of futures? What if there were lots of different futures? What could we be looking at? Would Kousagi have a chance with Peruru since they have a little more in common? Would Peruru end up with Chibiusa? Would Chibiusa end up with Helios? There's a Pegasus! So I just kind of went off with that, and I made a whole bunch of what if children, and I'm sure lots of you watching recognize Ellis. Ellis, named after Elysian, of course, Sailor Elysian Moon. She was my first choice. I found this Zuru doll at Walmart, and it had like a little blue streak in the hair, a little bit of gold. So I painted the eyes, and this was the first one I did. I tried to make her brooch like the dream mirror. Didn't quite turn out the way I thought, but it works just the same. I altered her dress into a Sailor Elysian uniform, and then they also had a different Zuru doll that had the Pegasus ears and horn already there, so I just repainted it, left her face alone, and made a little costume out of her dress. And as you can tell, I went crazy with Barbie because they now have Barbies that have blue and white hair, just like Helios. So I made one daughter where she's in her dad's uniform, what if she becomes the next priestess of Elysian? I made one where she becomes a Sailor Guardian. I made a different one where I thought, let me tilt her here, there we go. She comes with this belt that has this chain thing. So I thought, what if in the far future she takes over a role that Sailor Pluto used to have, where Pluto was the guardian of the time door? Well, what if she takes over for Pluto? So I altered her outfit to reflect that. I don't know how many little tiny unicorns and Pegasuses I have found that were already pretty much pre-painted the way I wanted them. So I just made slight alterations. I gave everybody a dongle. A few of them I painted the eyes. These are Zuru. They're not My Little Pony. Although I do have some My Little Pony in here. That's a new guy from the most recent film. And then there was an Applejack. I repainted her and I sewed a little outfit for her. Because they make a version of My Little Pony. It's half human, half pony. So I thought that would work for this project. And tons of little generic dolls. Barbie used to have a different little sister named Kelly. She's not the same as Chelsea. Don't let anybody tell you the same. And a lot of people make knockoff dolls of Kelly. So I found plenty that kind of worked. So I just made little different princesses. Some of these were thrift store finds. Like this one doll here has the perfect blue and white hair, just like Helios. Don't know which doll this is, but I made a little dress for her. Oh, by the way, these came from Hobby Lobby here. I also thought, like, what if Chibiusa or Kousagi's offspring have offspring of their own? So there's one with her own little baby back there. Let's see. This one here, that's kind of like a little centaur. I saw this one just loosely at the Goodwill. I really liked her. She already had like a little Pegasus insignia on her little shirt there. And I thought, like, you know, what if Chibiusa or Kousagi have an offspring and they temporarily turn towards the dark side, like when Chibiusa became Black Lady? So I did her hair up in Odongo, and I gave her 2 golden crystal horns instead of just the 1. Oh yeah, I also threw in some of Peruru's children too. So like, here's the first one, where she's got like a little princess thing. She had like this neat little gem skirt, so I just kind of embellished from there. Here's more of Peruru's children. Like this one had like this candy motif, which is perfect because in the Super S movie, you know, he's all about sweets. So I thought, like, if he and Kousagi had a daughter, this would be perfect because they both love sweets. So her sailor uniform has a lot of sweets to it. This one here, I altered her top just a little bit. I was more inspired by Codename Sailor V, and she already has like this little crystal microphone. So I thought, like, you know, if this one is going to follow after Pluto, why not have this one follow after Minako? And then this one I did a repaint job on. So she's kind of like, you know, the alternate sister to this one. Like, this one's got a rainbow outfit too, but she's Helios's daughter, and this one's Peruru's daughter. And then this one, I saw her dress, and I just loved how it was, so I added a necklace, and I put a little gem on her tiara, and I just love how this one came out. Down here, we've got 3 oldies. You'll probably remember these from my early Moon Sisters days. These 2 came from the Dollar Tree. This one was a Bratz Kids doll. She already had the Kousagi hair made up, so all I did was just sew some outfits for them. Their eyes, I kept them green. I wasn't sure about repainting them, and then when I started doing this project, I realized that they were perfect, so I just left them alone. This little guy here, I thought he would be a neat son for Chibiusa because he's got like the pink and red. And I saw him at Five Below. You know, not too many boys. I've got 1 boy here, and then like this little boy here from Hobby Lobby in the middle there. And then the new boy character from My Little Pony. His name escapes me. Please help me. In more ways than one. This one came in a grab bag, so I gave her Kousagi's hair, kinda, sorta. These 3 are from Five Below. I repainted this one back here, and I left the other 2 alone, because I got sleepy. Some more Five Below repaints. Well, this one I repainted and painted a little dress for her. The others I kind of left alone and just did hair for some of these. So yeah, you know, I just kind of thought, like, what would their future children look like? You know, I've always kind of, like, wondered about that. I have a whole area on Moon Sisters all about that. And, you know, I figured this would be a fun opportunity to just expand the idea and just kind of see where it takes me. What do you guys think? You know, did you guys ever think about, like, who they would end up with in the future and what their children would look like? Maybe what superpowers they would have? You know, there's one other question that I would have with this, like, you know, how would Chibiusa and Kousagi's parents take to it? You know, how would Usagi and Mamoru in the future take to their children potentially having kids with, Priest Helios or a Pegasus or a fairy or some combination thereof, how would they take to all these, like, sister, brother, cousins?